Elon Musk is no ordinary CEO. He's a disruptor, a visionary, a man who has built entire industries from the ground up. From revolutionizing space travel with SpaceX to making electric cars mainstream with Tesla, Musk has consistently defied expectations. But even for someone who thrives on innovation, there was a lingering question he couldn't shake. Was Tesla still the company he had envisioned? As Tesla grew into an industry giant, layers of management and bureaucracy had inevitably taken root. Musk had always prided himself on being hands-on, but he started to wonder, was he still connected to the reality of his employees? Were his people truly aligned with Tesla's mission, or had corporate structure watered it down? To find the answers, Musk did something bold. Instead of relying on filtered reports and polished presentations, he decided to step into the shoes of an average customer. He would walk into one of his own Tesla showrooms undercover, with no security, no assistance, and no one knowing who he really was. Dressed in a hoodie, dark jeans, and a baseball cap pulled low over his face, Musk entered a Tesla showroom in Austin, Texas. It was a carefully chosen location. Not the biggest, not the most glamorous, but close to Tesla's Gigafactory. That meant employees there might have insights others didn't. The plan was simple. Listen, observe, and uncover the raw, unfiltered truth. What he heard would change everything. As Musk walked into the showroom, he blended into the crowd. He was used to being recognized instantly. The double takes, the hushed whispers, the inevitable rush of people pulling out their phones. But not today. Today, he was just another potential customer, and for the first time in years, he liked it that way. The showroom was sleek and modern, with the latest Tesla models gleaming under bright overhead lights. Customers chatted with sales representatives, asking about battery life, self-driving features, and pricing. Everything seemed perfect, too perfect. But Musk wasn't interested in scripted sales pitches. He wanted the real story. Then, he heard something that made him stop in his tracks. Just a few feet away, a young Tesla sales associate was speaking to a skeptical customer. His voice was steady but hesitant, as if he was about to say something he shouldn't. Musk moved closer, pretending to admire a Model S, but keeping his ears locked on the conversation. The customer, a middle-aged man with arms crossed, asked, "Be honest with me, is Tesla really as good as they say?" The employee hesitated, glanced around as if checking for managers, and then lowered his voice. "Look, I'm supposed to tell you Tesla is the future, that you won't regret it. And honestly, I believe in the technology. But there are things you should know." Musk's grip tightened on the car door handle. "It's not just about the cars," the employee continued. "The tech is great, don't get me wrong. But the way things run, the pressure, the deadlines, it's intense. People quit all the time. And the worst part, the higher-ups don't seem to care." Musk swallowed hard. This wasn't a casual complaint. This was insight from the trenches. And for the first time in a long time, he felt something unsettling, uncertainty. The customer leaned in, intrigued. "Wait, are you saying Tesla cuts corners?" The employee hesitated. "Not exactly, but we move fast. Sometimes too fast. We push out cars so quickly that we barely have time to make sure they're perfect. Half of the customer complaints never even make it to corporate. You think Elon Musk hears about this stuff?" Elon's pulse quickened. The answer was clear. He didn't. Before the conversation could go further, a sharp voice cut through the air. "Step into my office." Now, a manager had appeared. His arms were crossed, his face unreadable. The employee stiffened, his face drained of color. He knew what was coming. The customer took a step back, suddenly interested in a Tesla brochure. Elon's mind raced. He had just witnessed something powerful. The perfect illusion of Tesla had cracked, revealing the raw truth beneath. Now he had a choice. Let it play out, or step in. He chose the latter. As the employee turned to follow his manager to the office, Elon moved. His disguise suddenly felt unnecessary. His steps were purposeful, his presence commanding. He followed them into the back office. The moment he pulled back his hood, the world stopped. The manager's mouth opened slightly, then snapped shut. The employee's eyes widened in shock. Elon Musk stood before them, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable. "I think I'd like to sit in on this conversation," he said. Silence. Heavy. Unrelenting. The manager's face turned pale as he stiffly nodded and pushed the door open. The three of them stepped inside. The office was small and sterile, with a desk, 2 chairs, and a glowing computer screen filled with spreadsheets. No distractions. No escape. Musk leaned against the desk, arms crossed, his gaze sharp. The employee sat stiffly, waiting for the hammer to drop. The manager cleared his throat. "Mr. Musk, Elon held up a hand. "Let's keep it simple. I came here to hear the truth, from the people who actually keep this company running." Silence. Musk turned to the employee. "What's your name?" "Alex," he answered quietly. "All right, Alex. You said something out there that caught my attention." Alex swallowed hard. "I wasn't trying to badmouth the company. I swear, I love Tesla. I believe in what we're doing. But the pressure, the deadlines, they're crushing people." Musk didn't blink. "And you think I don't hear about this?" Alex hesitated. "Do you?" That hit harder than Musk expected. The truth was, he didn't know. Not really. He saw reports. He heard what executives wanted him to hear. But the raw, unfiltered reality, that was missing. Musk tapped his fingers against the desk. He had spent years perfecting Tesla's products. But had he neglected its people? That moment, that question, sparked something in him. And it led to one of the most important decisions Tesla would ever make. In 2023, Tesla was riding high on its promise of revolutionizing the automotive industry. But beneath the surface, there was an undercurrent of dissatisfaction, frustration, and a growing sense of crisis. Tesla's innovation-driven success had begun to show cracks in areas that no one had truly expected. It all started in a closed-door meeting between a group of Tesla executives, some of the most brilliant minds in the business. As the company accelerated into new frontiers, electric vehicles, energy storage, and autonomous driving, internal pressure grew. The company was moving so fast that it sometimes felt like its workforce was being left behind. An anonymous employee, who had been observing the growing internal struggles, decided to take matters into their own hands. Armed with first-hand knowledge of inefficiencies and employee burnout, this individual found an unlikely ally among a small group of executives who were also concerned with the culture that had developed at Tesla. During one of these meetings, the employee passionately addressed the leadership. "We are not just building cars. We're building a future. But if we don't start addressing the human cost of innovation, we risk losing the very people who are driving this company forward." The comment was made quietly at first, but it sent shockwaves through the room. The issue wasn't about the vehicles themselves. It was about the workforce's welfare. Employees, particularly those in the production plants, were facing immense pressure. The long hours, unrealistic expectations, and lack of adequate support were beginning to wear thin. The conversation grew heated as concerns over job burnout, safety, and morale were brought to the table. Yet, the most striking aspect was that the voice of concern came from someone inside the machine, someone who was already working tirelessly to keep the gears turning. What followed was nothing short of a wake-up call for Elon Musk and his leadership team. Tesla had prided itself on pushing boundaries and achieving seemingly impossible feats. But in this conversation, the company was confronted with an uncomfortable truth. In their drive for perfection, they had forgotten that employees, too, were human. What they didn't want Musk to hear, but he heard it anyway. When you think of Tesla, you likely envision sleek electric cars, autonomous technology, and futuristic designs. Yet, behind the scenes, some of the most pivotal conversations were happening in darkened conference rooms, far removed from the public eye. It's here that Musk's leadership was tested in a way that no one had anticipated. Tesla had built its reputation on the backs of brilliant engineers, managers, and workers. But over time, the company's meteoric rise had started to come at a price. while Elon Musk remained focused on long-term goals, ensuring Tesla remained the most innovative company in the world. Many employees felt the short-term cost was becoming unbearable. The conversation that Musk didn't want to hear was one that put employee welfare at the center of the issue. Some of the brightest minds within Tesla felt that the company's ambition had left too many people behind. The company's culture, once a beacon of progress, had become one that demanded more and more from employees without providing adequate support or recognition. In a closed meeting, a high-ranking executive took the plunge and delivered the message Musk had been avoiding. "We are pushing people to their limits, Elon. And if we don't stop, we risk destroying the very foundation of this company. It's not just about building the future. It's about taking care of the people who are making it happen." Musk, known for his relentless drive, initially resisted the criticism. He was consumed by a vision of a sustainable future and the role Tesla would play in achieving it. Yet, the executive's words lingered in his mind. It wasn't just an employee complaint. It was a plea for balance. Musk understood that Tesla couldn't afford to lose its human element in its pursuit of greatness. Something needed to change, and change started with Musk hearing the hard truths that others were too afraid to speak. The bold employee, one risky truth that caught Musk's attention. In the heart of Tesla's Fremont factory, where workers hustled relentlessly to meet production deadlines, one employee's boldness would change the course of the company. This worker, a line supervisor who had been with Tesla for several years, had seen firsthand the toll that the fast-paced, high-pressure environment had taken on the staff. Tesla's production line was a marvel of innovation, but the strain it placed on employees was undeniable. As Tesla ramped up production of the Model 3 and other vehicles, the demand on workers only grew. Hours were long, and employees were constantly pushed to hit lofty targets. The factory floor became a battleground for efficiency, but at what cost? This line supervisor, who had always been a staunch supporter of Tesla's mission, began to feel conflicted. They watched their colleagues struggle with fatigue and burnout, and the toll on mental health became impossible to ignore. One evening, after witnessing an incident where a worker fainted from exhaustion, the supervisor decided to take a risk. They approached one of the senior executives with a message that could have cost them their job. "We need to stop glorifying the hustle culture," the supervisor said bluntly. "Yes, we are innovators, but we're also humans. And right now, we are sacrificing our most valuable asset, our people." This bold statement struck a chord with the executive. They knew that Tesla's ambition was unmatched, but now it was clear that it couldn't come at the expense of the employees who were carrying out that vision. The supervisor's words were passed up the chain of command, eventually reaching Musk. Though Musk's response was measured and calm, the message had hit its mark. The supervisor had given voice to the silent struggles of many Tesla employees, and now the company was faced with the reality of what needed to change. A silent revolution at Tesla. How one voice made a difference. While the world marveled at Tesla's innovations, inside the company, a quieter revolution was brewing. It wasn't a revolution of technology, but rather one of culture. Tesla, once a shining example of forward thinking, had begun to grapple with the reality of human costs associated with its rapid expansion. The change came not from a top-down mandate, but from an unexpected source, a quiet but powerful voice from within the ranks of Tesla's employees. These were the workers who spent long hours in the factories, the engineers who labored over blueprints, and the managers who ran operations. They had watched the company grow and succeed, but they were also keenly aware of the growing disconnect between Tesla's leadership and its workforce. As conversations around employee welfare continued to rise, a movement began to take shape within the company. It was not led by any one person, but rather a collective of voices that had quietly been pushing for change. Workers began organizing informal meetings, sending letters, and offering suggestions on how to improve work-life balance and mental health support. Tesla's leadership took notice. They understood that the company's true strength didn't lie just in the technology, but in the people who made it happen. Musk, despite his reputation for tough decision-making, knew that to continue Tesla's success, the company needed to address its internal struggles. The silent revolution had created enough momentum for real change to take place. More than just cars, the hidden struggles of Tesla's workforce. When most people think of Tesla, they think of groundbreaking electric cars and futuristic technology. But the company's workforce has been the unsung hero behind that vision. The employees who work in Tesla's factories, who design the vehicles, and who make the day-to-day operations run smoothly are often the ones who bear the brunt of the pressure. The hidden struggles of Tesla's workforce are not often seen by the public, but they are an essential part of understanding the company's true story. Tesla's production plants are some of the busiest in the world. Workers are pushed to meet high expectations, often under extreme pressure. The drive for innovation and the need to meet ambitious goals create an environment where the stakes are incredibly high. But the reality is that many Tesla employees, despite their passion for the company's mission, were suffering. The intense pressure had led to reports of high stress levels, burnout, and a general sense that the workforce wasn't being properly supported. Musk, typically laser-focused on Tesla's future, had to confront this uncomfortable truth. Through dialogue, change started to occur. Tesla began introducing initiatives aimed at improving employee welfare, including mental health support, better work-life balance, and adjustments to production targets. It was a shift, not just in business practices, but in corporate philosophy, a realization that success could not be sustained if the people who were driving it were not taken care of. By weaving these points together, you can see that Tesla's struggles were not just about building cars or technology. It was about recognizing the value of the people behind it all. The secret conversations, the risky truths, and the silent revolution all pointed to the same conclusion. Innovation without compassion is unsustainable. And in the end, the company found that the human element, the people, were the true driving force behind its success. This was a realization that helped to shape the next chapter of Tesla's journey and ensure its continued success for years to come. From skeptic to believer, how an honest conversation changed Tesla. Tesla's rise as a dominant player in the electric vehicle industry has often been attributed to the genius of its founder, Elon Musk, and the relentless pursuit of innovation. But there was a time when even the most dedicated employees were skeptical about the company's long-term sustainability. Tesla's success wasn't always a given, and internal doubts sometimes went unspoken. The company's culture, driven by fast-paced deadlines and ambitious goals, created a divide between its leadership and its employees. However, a pivotal moment would reshape the entire trajectory of Tesla's future, and it all began with one honest conversation. At one point, a seasoned engineer at Tesla, who had been with the company for years, found themselves increasingly disillusioned with the way things were heading. The pressure to meet production targets for the Model 3 and other vehicles had become overwhelming, and the stress was taking a toll on morale. Despite believing in Tesla's mission and the possibility of a sustainable future, this engineer, let's call them Sarah, began questioning whether the company's ambitious goals were being achieved at too high a cost. One day, Sarah found herself sitting across from Elon Musk in a small, private office. This was not a meeting scheduled for formal updates. This was an unplanned conversation that had come about after Sarah had been invited to speak candidly about the company's internal struggles. Sarah, with a mix of hesitance and conviction, spoke up. She acknowledged the brilliance of Tesla's vision and its accomplishments, but brought to the forefront a concern that had long been ignored: the culture of burnout and the strain it was putting on the employees. Elon, I believe in what we're doing here. I believe in the future we're building. But I can't help but feel that we're pushing our people too hard without enough regard for their well-being, she confessed. It was a conversation no one had dared to have with Musk before, one that acknowledged the human cost of progress. Musk, taken aback but not dismissive, listened intently as Sarah shared her observations. She spoke not just from her position as an engineer, but as someone deeply invested in the company's success. Her skepticism was rooted in a genuine desire to see Tesla succeed without sacrificing the people who made it possible. By the end of the conversation, Musk's perspective began to shift. The honesty with which Sarah spoke and the weight of her concerns made him realize that something crucial had been overlooked. Tesla's relentless pursuit of perfection had to be balanced with the care for those who were building that future. Sarah had gone from skeptic to believer, convincing Musk that taking care of the employees wasn't just a nice gesture, but a critical piece of Tesla's success. A company on the brink, Musk uncovers the hard truth. Tesla as a company had always been synonymous with pushing boundaries. The quest for innovation was a central ethos, and its leadership was often perceived as immune to the challenges that plagued other corporations. But behind the gleaming surface of technological advancements, Tesla was on the brink of something far less glamorous: internal collapse. In late 2022, the pressure began to mount in ways that even Musk couldn't ignore. While Tesla's vehicles and technology were leading the charge in the electric car industry, the company was facing an internal crisis that few outside of the organization could see. The culture, once celebrated for its energy and drive, had started to show signs of burnout, with employees at every level feeling exhausted and undervalued. Despite the outward success of the company, morale was at an all-time low. Employees, who had once been motivated by the dream of creating a sustainable future, began to feel disillusioned. The rapid pace of production, coupled with high expectations and insufficient support, created a brewing storm within Tesla. Musk, having grown accustomed to solving technical challenges, found himself facing a new kind of problem, one that wasn't easily solved with innovation alone. The heart of the company, its employees, were in distress. It took a direct confrontation with reality for him to uncover the hard truth. Tesla could not continue to succeed without addressing the well-being of its workforce. During a series of one-on-one meetings with key team members, Musk heard first-hand accounts of the strain employees were under. One particularly telling conversation came from a senior manager in Tesla's production department. "Elon, we've been pushing these people beyond their limits," the manager said, "and we're starting to lose them. The cars aren't the only thing we're building. We're building lives, and we need to care for them too." The hard truth was undeniable. Without a healthy, motivated workforce, even Tesla's greatest innovations could fall short. The company's reputation was on the line, and Musk had to face the reality that no amount of visionary leadership could make up for a workforce that felt overworked and underappreciated. The power of speaking up when employees dare to be honest. Speaking up at Tesla wasn't always easy. With the company's fast-paced, mission-driven environment, there was an unspoken expectation that employees would simply do what it took to get the job done. But there were a growing number of employees who felt that silence was no longer an option. It's easy to imagine how daunting it might have been for those within the company to voice concerns. Tesla, with its groundbreaking projects and its larger-than-life leader, seemed like a place where dissent would be dismissed. And yet, in an environment where boldness was the norm, there were those who dared to speak out, risking their careers for the sake of the company's future. One of these employees was Rachel, a young manager in Tesla's customer service division. Rachel had noticed the mounting stress her team was facing. The long hours and high expectations were beginning to take a toll on her colleagues, and customer satisfaction was starting to slip. Despite the pressures of her role, Rachel knew that change was necessary to ensure Tesla's long-term success. In a meeting with her superior, she took a deep breath and spoke up. "I know that we're all working towards a common goal here, but we're burning out. My team is overworked, and I fear that if we don't adjust, we'll lose more than just productivity. We'll lose the heart of this company." Her words hit hard, especially in a company like Tesla, where every decision was made with a razor-sharp focus on results. But Rachel's honesty set off a ripple effect. Other employees, who had been feeling the same frustrations, began to speak up as well. What followed was a crucial realization. The power of speaking up, of daring to be honest, was the catalyst for change. Elon Musk, known for his open and unfiltered communication style, didn't dismiss these concerns. Instead, he welcomed them, recognizing that true innovation couldn't happen without addressing the human side of the equation. Rachel's courage to speak up gave a voice to a growing movement within Tesla, one that prioritized both progress and people. Tesla's defining moment, the secret that forced change. Every company has its defining moment, an event or realization that forces it to pivot, reassess, and grow. For Tesla, that moment came when the company's internal challenges could no longer be ignored. While the world saw Tesla as a giant in the electric vehicle market, internally, the company was grappling with a deeper issue. Employees had long been expected to work at breakneck speeds, driven by the idea that innovation and success came at the cost of personal sacrifice. But when that balance was disrupted, when the human element of Tesla's workforce was compromised, it became clear that something had to give. The secret that forced change was a series of candid conversations among employees, managers, and executives. These discussions began to reveal something startling. The culture of relentless work was not only harming employees, but it was also holding back Tesla's true potential. Tesla's leadership team was forced to confront an uncomfortable truth, that no company, no matter how innovative, could thrive if it didn't take care of its people. Musk, though initially reluctant, came to see that the company's trajectory could not be sustained unless it embraced change from within. This was Tesla's defining moment, the moment when the company had to choose: stay on the path of unchecked ambition, or take the difficult step of reimagining what success could look like. A CEO's reality check. What Musk learned from his own employees. Elon Musk had always prided himself on his ability to push the boundaries of what was possible. But in a rare moment of self-reflection, Musk came to understand that the key to Tesla's success wasn't just about the products or the ideas. It was about the people who made those ideas a reality. After months of candid conversations, Musk learned an invaluable lesson from his own employees. The key to sustainable growth and innovation wasn't in pushing people to their breaking points, but in understanding and respecting the human limits that existed. Musk's reality check came when he realized that, for all of Tesla's technological advancements, the company's greatest asset was the people who worked tirelessly to make those advancements happen. Tesla's true power lay in the hands of its employees, and if the company didn't change its approach, it risked losing the very talent that had driven its success. Musk's willingness to listen and learn from his employees marked a turning point for Tesla. The company began to implement changes, including better work-life balance initiatives, more support for mental health, and a culture shift that recognized the value of its people. It was a lesson Musk would carry with him, one that helped Tesla continue to innovate and grow, this time with an even greater understanding of the importance of caring for the people who were the foundation of its success.